Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's 10 o'clock, Tuesday. Happy July 1st. This is an open door. It's a regular feature of an open door called Training Wheels. And it's where we take a look at a book that I wrote in 2019 based on the daily lessons of A Course in Miracles. And we take a daily lesson each week and we go through it and discuss it in depth. And we're discussing it from a rather mature spiritual standpoint. So most of us are familiar with the teachings, but even if you're not familiar with the teachings, you can still understand what is going on. You can still participate. So we can just pick up anywhere. But this Training Wheels lesson is approached from both A Course in Miracles and a non-dual approach, because, of course, A Course in Miracles is, as Ken Wapnick says, a non-dual Western teaching. So today we are on lesson 39, My Holiness is My Salvation. And what I usually do in these classes is I invite everyone to just take a comfortable seat. You can leave your camera on or off. I'm going to turn mine off because what I'm going to do is take us into almost a guided meditation of this teaching. So just get comfortable and get quiet. Enjoy where you are. Again, we are on lesson 39. So we'll just quiet in, be happy with yourself. Watch your breath. Know that you're good. Nothing I see means anything. I have given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. I do not understand anything I see. These thoughts do not mean anything. I am never upset for the reasons I think. I'm upset because I see something that is not there. I see only the past. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see nothing as it is now. My thoughts do not mean anything. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. I am upset because I see a meaningless world. A meaningless world engenders fear. God did not create a meaningless world. My thoughts are images I have made. I have no neutral thoughts. I see no neutral things. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. I am determined to see. I am determined to see things differently. What I see is a form of vengeance. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. I do not perceive my own best interests. I do not know what anything is for. My attack thoughts are attacking my own invulnerability. Above all else, I want to see. Above all else, I want to see things differently. God is in everything I see. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. I am not a victim of the world I see. I have invented the world I see. There is another way of looking at the world. I could see peace instead of this. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. My holiness envelops everything I see. My holiness blesses the world. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. My holiness is my salvation. What is salvation? Salvation is atonement. What is atonement? Atonement is the undoing of the idea of separation. Salvation is being saved from the idea of separation. My holiness is my salvation. Did you know the force of love has predictable consequences? Indeed, there is a law of love. It functions in a multi-dimensional reality above 3 dimensions. Being unfamiliar with any laws except those of 3 dimensions, we are unfamiliar with the law of love. We are unfamiliar with the law of love at best, and at worst, we deny its very existence. The purpose of studying these lessons is to give you a jump start in this life. It is a jump start that informs you about laws that apply above 3 dimensions. While they may seem unknowable to us here, or even unworthy of trying to understand, they influence every facet of this 3-dimensional life. Learn the law of love in this world, and your happiness will increase exponentially. The law of love, which recognizes the holiness of everything, is like white light that contains all colors, some of which we cannot even see. When I look at the color blue, I do not see its white light. The same is true for the colors green, red, yellow, purple, and so on. But the white light is there in each color. Love is like white light. It holds everything within it, and it is contained in everything. Each one of us is his own unique color of light, and yet all of us are contained within the whole white light of Source. When we look beyond the differences of gender, of color, of size, of personality, indeed any attribute in this three-dimensional world, we can see the wholeness within each person. This seeing is seeing with the eyes of God. Make no mistake, Source sees in this way, above three dimensions, and it knows the law of love because Source is the law of love. My salvation, your salvation, the whole planet's salvation is born out of the law of love. In this three-dimensional world, the law of love is expressed through forgiveness, which comes from seeing the light that is held in each person, each living thing, indeed, each stone, each branch, each drop of water, each molecule of air that we cannot even see. The recognition of holiness of each and everything forms the foundation of forgiveness. Consider the words for and give. Forgiveness is an eternal payment forward, given before it is even perceived as necessary. Forgiveness is the key to perception above three dimensions, and it must begin with yourself. This lesson is the beginning of the end of guilt. For how can you, to whom holiness belongs, be excluded from it? The lesson for today is your own healing. Today, 4 5-minute meditations on this lesson are requested or invited. Try practicing before you get up, in the mid-morning, mid-afternoon, in the evening before bedtime. Take a seat and close your eyes. Just relax and gently place your awareness on the breath. Notice how relaxation seems to deepen as you breathe out. When you're ready, repeat the lesson in your mind. My holiness is my salvation. My holiness is my salvation. Let any thought that arises arise. It is arising in your holiness. As you sit in your holiness now, for holiness is only known now, in this moment, now, timeless, effortless. Holiness is silent. Holiness is empty and whole at the same time. Holiness is confounding for the egoic mind because it maintains itself through the objects that it perceives. The separate mind maintains itself through thoughts, through emotions. Through objects. Through the perception of time, the past and future. It is uncomfortable with silence because it disappears there. What is the nature of your holiness now? A Course in Miracles tells us, ultimately, every member of the family of God must return. The miracle calls us to return because it blesses and honors us. The creation is whole, and the mark of wholeness is holiness. A Course in Miracles tells us the Holy Spirit is in you in a very literal sense. Notice what your holiness is: open, expansive, peace. This is the sonship. Everyone experiences the same silence. Everyone experiences the same peace and timelessness. The now is the same for all of us. Open, unlimited, empty, and abundant. we share this empty, open, abundant space. Spirit is immortal, and immortality is a constant state. My holiness is my salvation. My oneness is my true self. As you go throughout the day, return as often as you like to this place of spacious abundance, the silence, the now. This is the path. It is a direct path to your true self and to Source. And every time you take this moment and return on the direct path to the silence, to your Source, you are with all other beings. There is no separation. This is a shared space of silence. It has no objects in it. You won't see another person in it. You won't see a tree or a dog in it, because it is your true, open, abundant self. That's why there is peace there. That's why there is nothing lacking. So, as often as you like today, gift yourself with the now, returning to this open, empty space. It can be just for an instant, or it can be just a thought, knowing it's there waiting for you, changeless, ever present. Who is the you who are living in this world? A Course in Miracles asks. And the answer is spirit, immortal spirit. And immortality is a constant state. Remember, what is true must always be true, or it is not true. You can never be sort of guilty or sort of whole. You are always holiness. When you're ready, very slowly and gently, come back into the present moment now, and you can turn your camera on. How did this lesson find you? How did you feel before the lesson, and how do you feel now? What do you think about salvation and holiness? I do really love the teaching that holiness, spirit is immortal and a constant state. That is about as close as we can get to the understanding that there is nothing separate from God. Nothing.
I'd like to share.
Please, Rana.
That was a beautiful lesson. And what that did for me was slowed everything down. And I believe that this one needed that. And there were just a couple of pointings in the reading that really lit me up. Each one of us is his own unique color of light, yet all of us are contained within the whole white light of Source. It's just so helpful, to remember that. And then, some words that really stuck out to me in the rest of that paragraph is look beyond, see the wholeness within each person. Source sees above 3 dimensions, right? There's always this remembering, oh yeah, there's something beyond what I'm seeing. What I think I see is limited. It's just a small part of what the truth about what's really going on. And so that was a great pointing. And then I love the breakdown of forgiveness. Those words for and give, about paying it forward before it's even perceived as necessary. So can I live as that, with that attitude? And whenever I hear the word atonement now, I hear at one-ment. It's just seeing the one thing going on. And as always, the reading of the first 50 or first 39 lessons at this point was beautiful. And just listening to that definitely brings everything in, So thank you, Amy. As always, I love you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rana. Just really quickly, I think the course, and I forget where it is, I think it's in chapter 5 of the text, or maybe it's 4. It says, God is not in your mind. You are in God's mind. And yes, David, yes, there is a subtle difference in that. And that's how we know everything is always for me. Because I am in God's mind. I am of God's mind. How could it not be for me? David.
I was just thinking along those lines because in atonement and holiness, it's just not, it's like those are words to attempt to describe what is, in my humble opinion. And it's just, but we just know, I know what is. I don't have, there are no words to describe what I know, but the fact I know it. And it's just like, like you said, there's, we're in the mind of God. There's only, there's only one mind, and even one is an inaccurate word because it's not enough. There are no words that are enough to describe the the oneness or there I am trying to describe it with words. But I think I know it, and I think we all know it. It's deep down in our knowing. And I was talking in a class I was in this morning, and one of the things came to mind was uh, Michelangelo creating David, and he had this big block of marble, and he just scraped away the stuff that wasn't David. And I think that's the way look at the oneness and what is. If I just scrape away the things that I've surrounded myself, the things that what aren't, the facade, the ego, and the fear, and the jealousy, and all that stuff. And if I just let it go, I mean, and I don't even think I have to need to scrape it away. If I just know what is, the not know the stuff that isn't would just fall away, because it doesn't exist. It's made up. And so, it's almost like Forrest Gump running with the braces on. If I just keep running, the braces will fall off. If I just keep being me, I won't need those braces. And so that to me, that's a pretty good analogy of how I want to live my life. So thank you for listening, and I'm done talking now.
Thank you, David. Yeah, I love your Michelangelo quote. That's exactly what it is. I'm not the thoughts, I'm not the emotions. And then getting to know the silence, getting to know the awareness. What is the nature of awareness? And the small mind just is so uncomfortable with that. It squirms around. It wants to latch on to something. It wants to go down the rabbit hole. Yeah, it wants to go down the rabbit hole, because if it can attach to an object, then it can keep itself going, but it doesn't know what to do with the spaciousness. And Bubbles says, I loved what Amy says about the separate mind maintaining itself through thoughts, emotions, and form. So, Michelle, do you want to say something more about that?
Sure. I that just really hit me because the last couple days I've been getting mired in thoughts, and I recognize it, and I separate myself from what's going on. In other words, dynamics in the family. So I have to kind of remove myself, um, and be by myself for a few minutes in our bedroom, and I just know deeply, that the thoughts are what's tripping me up, um, and it is very, very interesting to watch, um, the resistance to let go. Um, I've been trying to observe why I want to hang on to something that is so uncomfortable, and that is such an illusion, that is not even true. Um, and I love, the definition of atonement, how you had mentioned that it's the undoing of the illusion, the undoing of what never occurred. And so I don't, I don't any, I used to feel like, why is this still happening? I've been playing with the Course in Miracles and having fun with it. Why do I not feel? I don't feel that way anymore, actually, which is kind of a nice, nice place to be. Um, it- um, so it's still very uncomfortable, and I feel it manifesting in my body sometimes, in pain. And then I've observed that, this is really the first time in my life this has happened, where now I still have issues, but I have noticed when I do look at this, and I even if I can't let it go, if I look at it, that the pain will either subside or go away, and it boomerangs back sometimes, but it is so encouraging and fun to look at that. Um, anyway, I'm kind of all over the place here, but I really liked David's Forrest Gump. Like, I'm like, ooh, you know, I'm gonna run down the street and see if, you know, my my illusory braces will pop off like Forrest's. So anyway, thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Michelle. It is really amazing how when we try to let go of the discomfort, that's just the ego trying to let go. It's only when we stay in the holiness, in the at-one-ment, in that spaciousness, recognizing that what is arising within. It's like we are that white light, and the color is arising within the space of our white light. And that white light holds any color you can imagine, and even beyond that color. There's nothing the white light can't hold. And so I watch the discomfort, and maybe I want to crawl out of my skin. That's okay too. I watch that too. Right? Doesn't mean it's easy or it's comfortable to sit in atonement. It doesn't mean that. It can be very uncomfortable. It's the willingness to do that over and over and over again. Patricia, good morning. I know it's early for you.
Yes, it is, but good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. Thank you, Amy, for bringing me back down into the oneness, into the peace. I woke up this morning and there was this flutter of noise in my head. And I went, oh, it's just flutter. Because I wasn't quite awake yet, so there weren't thoughts formed, but it was it was noise, it was just flutters. And I had to laugh. So I came back to the moment, came back to awareness, came back, watched things expand, and then the flutter started again. Now there were words because I was more awake. And I just watched this process and I was intrigued. I just wanted to share that about how coming back to the present moment, how the ego doesn't want to be there because it doesn't feel good and it can't stay there. And that's okay too. As the thoughts arise, just let them arise and back to the moment. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Because even the ego is contained within the silence. The noisiness of the ego is held within the silence, the open, spacious, ever-present now. It's held there. So there's nothing to resist, even to resist the ego. No worries. Just watch it. Just witness it do its thing, right? And as you know, Patricia, the more we're willing to sit and watch the ego squirm and writhe and have its little hissy fit and tempt us to go down the rabbit hole, it slowly starts to wear itself out. It always comes back, but it wears itself out. It gets less raucous, less full of wrath and anger.
So it's a moment of peace before it
Yeah.
starts up again.
Exactly, exactly. And we'll take that, won't we? Thank you. I can see Sandra reaching. You're on. You're at the head of the table,
How
Sandra.
how did you see that? I don't know. I was just thinking I wanted to tell you, I've done these lessons several times, and this time with you is just so beautiful. And I want to thank you for that. Your words, your understanding, and it's beyond the words. It's just what you are emanating to us as you. As you. And so I did have a similar experience this week. We do a lot of vacationing with our whole family, and it's a lot of people. There's like 10 people, and I have a couple of son-in-laws who I love. And so this time, my youngest daughter and her husband didn't show up when they were going to, and they missed some of the family activity. And my husband said to me, they dissed us. And honestly, I hadn't thought about it that way until he said it. And then I went with it, you know? Ego jumped right into that one. But it was different this time. It was different. And I think it's because of these lessons and being a part of this community that I see that. I definitely observed her, Sandra, the personality Sandra, and I recognized that she likes to get hurt for some reason. She kind of likes getting hurt. I can't explain it. But there is a line in your book that you didn't read. It says, my unloving thoughts about blank hold me apart from myself. And I started having unloving thoughts about my son-in-law. And then I saw how she likes to get hurt. And then I said, oh yeah, that feels icky. I don't like that icky feeling. And I don't have to have that icky feeling anymore. And I just saw all the freedom around the truth of all of it. And the truth was that there is this illusion, I don't know the right words, but there's this structure that has been formed that I've been participating in. And now I'm not participating any longer. And the enormous benefit, the enormous relief and freedom from that just overwhelmed me. And I didn't try to convince my husband that he was wrong or any of that. That would have been another old Sandra thing to do, you know? It's just, oh, I have the answers for everybody. So I didn't do that either. I just let everything be, and everything was, and I got to enjoy the time. Something else you said that I had not heard before, Amy, and you've probably said it before, but I heard it today, was that the silence was the same silence for all of us. I think before I thought it was my silence. And I really sunk into that, the same silence, the same, all this. I felt so connected and expansive when you said that. So thank you for that. Thank you for this book. Thank you for these lessons. I'm very grateful.
I am grateful for you, and it all just comes through, right? It's all of us contributing. So my unloving thoughts about myself, those don't have to keep me from myself. I can watch unloving thoughts arise, but when I recognize I am the silent presence in which those unloving thoughts about my seemingly separate self arise, I don't have to go down the rabbit hole with them. Unloving thoughts about the self arise frequently. It's our belief in the unloving thought that makes it a problem, right? It's just a thought otherwise, right? Patricia, thank you.
Thank you. The silent thought. And what Sandra was saying as well, it's like that sense of the silence is something that everyone experiences. So we're one. And I was thinking about one of your teachings. I can't remember which one, Amy, sorry. But there, that sense of soul, that we all are one soul. I mean, that's an image that works well for me. So that silence is the soul
Yes.
and how we are all connected. We are all one. And that's the radio station, by the way, David, I choose to listen to.
Thank you. That's a great one. I like that, Patricia. You know, the realization that that the at-one-ment or the silence, the open, spacious, the nature of the true self, that realization that we share it came when I sincerely asked to know what oneness is. I really wanted to know, to experience oneness. And I asked repeatedly. I knew I only needed to ask once, but I asked, what is oneness? How do I know it? And it came to me through Rupert Spira's teachings and Francis Lucille's teachings that we all share the same silence. It's the same for all of us. It's a shared space. The ego says you're alone there. It's boring there. Nothing's happening there. Oh, look over here at this thing that's going on over here. That's much more interesting. That silence, openness, that is where we all gather. And it is the same for all of us. And it is where peace is. It's where contentment is. It's where eternalness is. And the more we explore that and get to know it, it feels empty at first. How do you explore that space? You go there and you sit and you watch what comes up. That's how you do it. That's the exploration. Sitting in silence, allowing and allowing and allowing. And you are never alone there because you're with every other aspect of yourself that is sitting in silence. Even though it doesn't know it's there, it's there. It's the constant. That's what A Course tells us. It is the constant. Michelle, and then David. Come to the head of the table.
Thank you, Amy. That is beautiful. That is really beautiful. I just wanted to add you're reminding us that we are in the mind of God. So that is so powerful. So back to the just reflecting and observing emotions and thoughts. That reminder is such a great resonance with me, that everything's unfolding perfectly as you mentioned. And also I do that a lot. Okay, everything's unfolding perfectly. Then also, though, you're reminding us that we are in the mind of God. It's so powerful to me in a new way here, because we are so incredibly loved that we can't even fathom that there's so much love. So we're in the mind of God, and everything's for us, as Indigo says, and we are so deeply loved. And I just wanted to add that it really, I don't know, it just hit me differently when you said that. And at night, when I bless our older son, he's like, bless me from afar, don't touch my head. And our younger son, he likes lavender oil and 10 or 15-minute blessing. So I do it quietly, but the one thing I do say is, you are in God and God is in you. But I think I'm gonna now say, you are in the mind of God. I just love that. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's wonderful. I love that you do that with your boys. That's powerful. Thank you. Thank you for that, Michelle. I don't think my daughter would let me do that, so I would love it if she would. I have to do it from afar. So,
Yeah, George won't let me touch him, but Michael will. So, different strokes.
beautiful. It's beautiful. Oh, David, come to the head of the table. You have to unmute, my dear.
Okay, I keep trying to not remember to mute, and then I forget to unmute. But thank you for this class, and one of the things that I'm thinking about is, and you could just be on the screen and just look at us and smile. It would work for me, and that would be all I need. I mean, and 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 but I think it's almost like you use the frame. I mean, this is my opinion. You use the framework in our class, in your Training Wheels book, and in the Course in Miracles class you teach, and that's kind of like the framework. It's almost like you're driving that bus, but what I want, John Speed said, I want to get on that bus with you, and another thing, I was at my morning meeting the other day, and it was almost, I know, may have already talked about this, is when we walk into that room, we check our egos at the door, and it's just obvious. I mean, it's just, and I think we all know that, and we're all sitting around. There's 10 or 15 of us, whatever there is, and it's like, we're just like everybody's just a light. We're all the light. We're little individuals but to get in that room, we all come together and become the big light, and and we know that, and we feel that, and it's real, and we don't have to. We talk about things that's a 12-step meeting. We talk about this and that and this and that, but that's our vehicle to relate and be real, because it's almost like, but like I said, we could all just sit there and smile, and that would be enough too. But we feel like we have to do something, and that's what I feel like I have to project out and tell people who I am, and tell them what I believe, and tell them what I think. But I don't, and I'm learning that. I learned that a lot today. I don't have to do anything. All I have to do, I don't have to do anything. Just be. I mean, I already am, so I don't even have to do that. I already am that. And so if I just be, and that's not even the just, if I be, uh, that's all there is. And that's, I need to do nothing other, because I am already everything. It's like Indigo says, everything is for us. So, and end of story. That could be like a chapter in the Course in Miracles. Everything is for us, and then drop the mic. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, David. Thank you. We are each other. We are. And Indigo is a master Indigo. Honest to Pete. We quote her in every single meeting. So thank you for that reminder. And Alice, welcome. Unmute and Thank you for your presence.
Oh, thank you. This is, yeah, my first time. And of course, I didn't know what to expect, but, and as you were reading the lesson or whatever, just listening, it was like, oh, okay, this is like all the principles of A Course in Miracle or truth teaching, very compactly, presented. And it was just such a, wonderful, fabulous reminder. And I come here as Sandra's my good friend and have studied with her. And so picking up on her about hurt. And one thing I dabbled in the Course in Miracles over a long time. But one thing, it was somebody else that was writing about it, was that I cannot be harmed. And that was like, what the bleep are they talking about? And I, whatever, struggled with that, pushed and pulled with that, that my eternal self, it's impossible to be hurt. And so I just, that idea that something can hurt me, when I get wound around that wheel, like, oh, they've disrespected me, I guess, was, that's what or I've been overlooked, or what, like all those error beliefs that arise. And so I work on that all the time. Like, I think I'm hurt, oh, oops, I'm making that up again, that how could my real self, true self, cannot be harmed. And I got that from Course in Miracle principles. And so I'm grateful, thankful, and I just wanted to, oh, that was a big one for me, that I can be harmed, or I cannot be harmed. Which one is true? Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. Who is it that recognizes that she cannot be harmed? That's the true self, right? The true self is that in which the awareness, I cannot be harmed, arises. The true self is the one that recognizes, oh, there's something down here that thinks it's hurt, but I can see that it's not true. And you can have a field day with the hurt. I mean, Sandra teaches us all the time. The hurt is just an experience. And if you want to enjoy it, you can enjoy it. If you decide I've had enough, then you've had enough. But there's nothing wrong with feeling that feeling. It's just arising within the awareness that you are, of the eternal, unlimited self that you are. So we can talk more about that later, but thank you for that reminder that I cannot be hurt. That's so freeing, isn't it? So freeing. That's the true identity. Thank you. Patricia.
I'll make this quick because I know we're out of time. I always see hurt as a teacher of not getting hooked. It's like, oh, I'm feeling hurt. Okay, here's an opportunity to go inside and just go, okay.
Yep.
No,
Exactly.
it's not my problem. I can just forgive and bless.
Exactly. It's a thought. And David says every thought is just a thought. Every feeling is just a feeling. Every emotion is just an emotion. Exactly. And it's there to be experienced. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not the truth of what you are, right? Because what you are is, as Alice said, the eternal, unlimited, unassailable, unharmable. Yes. So it's 11 o'clock. I want to thank you all for joining us this morning. We have another gathering. Gathering at noon, 12-stepping, and Rana's going to be leading that. Or Rana will be opening it. Rana, I don't know if someone else is leading it.
David is leading for us today.
Oh, Excellent. All right, we get
Amy?
a chance.
Amy, could I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
I have headphones. Right in the best part, it was actually on my tablet, your voice was coming over really soft anyway. It was kind of hard to hear.
Okay.
So I was going to get my headphones on, and then my lawn crew came outside and was drowning out everything. And I could hear the little bits about the most important parts. So we're talk about the noise drowning out. So and today's a kind of a challenge. My digestive system's got so much gas in it. I've got some relatives coming over in a couple hours. It's going to be very focused. It's kind of one of those moments.
That's
So
okay.
I wondered, when is this available to hear it again?
It will be put up on the website to be heard again, Rana, what, in a day or so? Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
I would say within the next 24 hours, Elizabeth, you'll be able to
Okay.
find it.
Yeah, I'm going to review the lesson, but there was just the way you were saying it. I really looked up. I went, really? It was just, and the gas in my stomach all of a sudden, and I'm going, these are not mine, things like that. So talk about timing. I just want
All
to
right.
put that in there because this
It's
is
all for you,
exactly what
Elizabeth. Yeah,
this
it's
is exactly what this is for.
yes, yes.